There's some rappers I'm saying like 90% of rappers say their names. I don't mind.
Yeah.
You can't tell me in this big rap there's not like a 10% of this like Riff Raff, Chingy, Jay Quan. I can't say you're wrong, bruv. Your opinion is wrong.
Right.
Like, you're not about to tell me these man can rap nice.
I feel you can feel that way, but it is still an opinion.
Yo, if I came to you and I said Riff Raff is the nicest rapper I've ever heard in my life, this podcast is going nowhere, bro. You're not doing this with me.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't
I
tell.
agree with him now.
I get what you mean. It's like if you're someone that believes that, it should say a lot about you.
Yeah.
I would never be so appalled as to not do something that
I'll
I want
be
to do with you.
I'll be disgusted.
Bro, if you would have been like, yo, I met this brother called Mo, and he's like, yo, he rates Riff Raffers, I'm not gonna want to chat to him.
Before
That's a you thing.
Yeah, but then that means that this podcast probably won't happen then.
Yeah, more time I don't talk. Deep in my mind there's a lot going on. Ask for a hand and they are. Self is the only one I found in the dark. Got the cosign from the plot. Forgive me for the times I was selling them drugs. Forgive me for when I had to rock. I know my mother proud of who I'm becoming.
What's going on, world? Welcome to episode 89 of the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast with your boys Peter,
Yo,
Mohammed,
Yo.
myself Yemi, and today we have another special guest, an MC who burst onto the scene over a decade ago and has overcome personal obstacles to present a fluid and potent mix of rap and dancehall. He has collaborated with the likes of Kojey Radical and Western, to name a few, and he has a new mixtape out now called While You Wait. Representing Peckham, South London by way of Kingston, Jamaica, we welcome the man formerly known as Cashh. We welcome Cashh to the pod today.
hey,
Intro.
Yo, Yemi, you body that shit. You body that. You body
You're not
that.
giving me intros like that. Just letting you know.
Only the best, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, my bro. I'm good.
Good. Thank you for coming down. Boys, what we saying?
bless, bro, man. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Mohammed, yourself?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. God is good all the time.
All the time good is good. All the time good is good. How's Ramadan?
Sorry, you said it properly this time.
I said it properly this
Yo,
time.
imagine last time we did the episode, yeah?
What did he say?
This guy goes Ramdan Green.
No. I said Ramadan because that's how I grew up knowing it as.
Yeah.
And then he tried to say I said Ramadan, which wasn't the case.
No, this guy went Ramdan, bro. But yeah, no, Ramadan. It's been calm, man.
And obviously, because he's an enemy of progress as well, he's going to agree with Mohammed as well. So, that's all good.
Ramadan's been sweet, man. It's been easy. It's not easy, but it's been per usual.
Fair enough. Well,
How you been?
I'm fine. I'm good. I'm not doing Ramadan, so I'm good.
I'm saying the sun's been shining.
Sun has been shining. Sun has come up.
It's been cold out there, same way though.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll take that though. I don't mind.
It's a nice mix, innit?
I don't mind London being cold if it's bright. But when it's cold and dark,
It's just gloomy.
horrible.
You know what? London and the UK in the spring,
right,
calm.
right,
very, very right. Because even if it's not hot, sun is out and everyone's in a better mood.
right.
Beer gardens and all that.
Yeah,
I was on a train here. I saw a pub and there was like a whole congregation there outside just posted. So, you know, that's what happens. That's what happens when the sun is out.
man.
That's what happens when the sun is out. You need to touch some more grass, to be fair. But yeah, salute to everybody. Salute to Drake's in the cut as well.
Big up Drakes.
Big up
Salute,
Drake's, looking very
salute.
snug and comfortable in his fluffy hoodie. Hey, listen, I hear you. Living vicariously through you. Salute to everybody listening and watching as well. Shout out to the YouTube crew, Spotify crew, the SoundCloud crew, the Apple Podcast crew, the Amazon Music crew, and all the crews out there watching and listening. Very much appreciate it. Right, we've reached the portion of the show, Cashh, where every time we have a guest come in, we ask them to name their top 5 favorite UK and US rappers. So, as your UK rapper, we'll start with the UK.
Is that like now or is that of all
Could
time?
be anything you call it.
I don't overthink these things, so I'd say just right now, UK, I'd say Potter. DVS. Wretch. Who else?
Most happy about that.
Yeah.
What? And I can't put myself in there.
You can if you
You
want.
can put yourself in there.
I'm gonna be in there then. Who else? Oh, okay. Blade. There's bare man. It would get
Yeah,
mad.
yeah.
You get me? Fredo, Dave. It gets mad. We got rappers over here.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
We got rappers over here still.
I hear that.
And in America, Drake, Kendrick, Cole, Jay-Z. Rapper or artist or just rapper? Because you know there's a difference.
Yeah. I'll say rapper.
Yeah, I say rapper.
Yeah.
If it's just rappers, then how many have I done so far?
Done like 4.
4. So one last one. America. No man, off the top.
Do you watch America like that, or is it more you're more focused on UK?
I'm just wherever, to be fair, wherever. But for the last one, I know I'm gonna probably watch this back and just think. Right,
Yeah.
why do you say,
It's gonna come to you like in half an hour's time.
But yeah, last one I'll chuck in there.
Go off your gut.
You know, like I want to say Kanye, but I know I'm saying it more from an artistic,
standpoint. Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I asked that question. But okay, go on. I'll chuck Kanye in
Yeah,
there.
go on then, why not? I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you such a fan of like the likes of Potter and DVS and all those people? What do you think they bring to the table?
Definitely storytelling. I feel like for me, both of those artists in particular, they're very descriptive with their verses. You can see the room that Potter's in. Do you know what I mean? You can see the girl that DV's describing. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
He lets you know what the weather was like at some point during the day.
Yeah, you can see what's going on.
So I think for me, yeah, like I'm someone, when I hear something, I visualize it. So whoever does that the best to me, they're my favorite type of rappers. You get me?
So lyricism that is kind of vivid and paints a picture is like kind of more what you're drawn to.
Yeah, for sure. But for me as well, I feel like lyricism, a lot of people think is just tied to just metaphors and shit. You get me? Being able to construct a story and make it continue and make sense, beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
Enough times, even like, man will be speaking in the third person and then just switch it all of a sudden to the first person, and it just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, so being able to construct a story from the beginning to the end seamlessly, that's lyricism to me. You get me?
And being able to evoke feeling and emotion, right?
Of course.
Because we were talking before you got here about Skepta. Skepta
Right.
might not necessarily be the most lyrical,
Right.
but he's the greatest because of the way he paints pictures with his words.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's not the greatest to me, but rock on.
Wait, what did I say?
He said he's the greatest.
Fine.
I had to correct that. I'm
Fine.
sorry.
Pick
man.
him out.
He never picks his battles. Anyway, but yeah, before I was so rudely interrupted, yeah, I mean, a lot of people consider Skepta the greatest, but he might not be necessarily be lyrically the greatest, but he paints pictures, and it's the same for people like Jay Huss and all those types of people as well. So yeah, I think lyricism is very much like, it's an umbrella term for a lot of things.
Yeah, it's the journey. It's the journey you can take someone on. Like, because a lot of the time, like, I be hearing verses and it's like, you might be saying a lot of metaphors and shit, but I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's just more they put words together for
you're
the
not
sake of putting
taking
words
me
together.
anywhere at all. You know what I'm trying to
There's
say?
a lot of these lyrical miracle guys.
Right,
Yeah, they'll put bare words together, but it's no fluidity in it at all.
right.
Facts.
Yeah.
But, you know, salute to those men either way. Yeah, let's take it back to, you know, how you got into music and all that stuff. Paint a picture of like how you got into music in your childhood and all that. Like, was it a thing where music found you when you were growing up, or was it a thing where, you know, you got to a certain age and you thought maybe let's give this a go? Like, what was that like?
In terms of me discovering music, or in terms of me falling in love and making it?
Both.
Both. Discovering it, I'd say it's like maybe golden hours or sunset, Jamaica, Kingston, Park Lane, to be exact. Loads of kids, music's just playing in the background out of someone's car, different songs playing through someone's window somewhere. It's hot, and I'm just a kid, just in the trenches, just hearing the music and just connecting to it, just listening to it, not ever knowing I'm gonna make music myself. Do you know what I mean? But just listening to it. And in Park Lane, a lot of legendary artists come through that place. You get me? So I've grown up seeing Buju Banton and then seeing Beanie Man and all of these lot coming through my house, and being attached to that from early. Yeah, definitely I'd say, looking back now, subconsciously probably played a big part for me to end up making music. That's how I guess, discovered music, my memory from it. And then in terms of making it, one of my older brothers, he moved to America and then he lived over there for a bit and then he returned. And when he returned, he was rapping. And he set up a little studio in the house, basically, you get me? And really, it was just from there. I'm in there. When he's in there, I'm in there. You understand? I'm watching how he records in terms of he was using Cubase and Logic and from them time, Reason and them programs there, you get me? So I'm watching all of that stuff and just learning, you get me? And observing him. Still wasn't really in there thinking I'm an artist, you get me? Just really going off of what he's doing. So certain times he might even be writing, smoking his spliff, pacing around, and he might freestyle something, but then he can't remember it. I'll remember it.
Okay, yes.
So that was really kind of my way of falling in love with making it, because he gave me like an 8-bar opportunity, basically, on the tune, you get me? And I did it, and then all of my other brothers come in the room, the man them come upstairs and heard it. But that feeling, I think, made me feel like, right, I could do this, you get me?
How old were you?
Sorry, Mo, go on.
I was going to say, how old were you roughly around?
10 years old.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
10.
Were you learning to produce when he was like...
Nah, but he was producing. Okay. So, for example, this is like early. So he's like, I think like at that point, I know he's obsessed with Jay-Z and Kanye. But on the production side, like he's sampling stuff. I'm watching him chop stuff up. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So again, eventually that led to me doing the same sort of thing. But my main thing was the rapping. Do you get it? So I guess even though I was like, I could do this, it still wasn't something I was confident in saying to everybody, like, I do this, you get me? So, especially because it was in an American accent.
Oh, swear. Okay, yeah. Everyone went through that phase in the UK, innit?
Right. Because that's hip-hop. That's how we know it to be, innit? So, you get me? It's in an American accent. And plus, to me, I didn't know that you can rap in a British accent. I thought rapping in a British accent was grime.
Okay.
Like I thought if you're from England and you rap, you just rap faster than everyone else in the world. You get it? So that's when Gigs first rap and slowed it right down. Is the first time I'm hearing like, right, okay, so I can rap like this with this accent. It is possible. Yeah. And then from there, I then kind of gravitated to my own sounds, my own beat picking. So it's different to what my brother would do. You get what I'm trying to say? And then really, just started writing about my shit, because I was originally writing about his shit. Do you get it?
Yeah. Do you remember your first bars?
Nah, I don't. I don't still. But I know that the Cashh ad-lib was birthed in around the same time though. Like,
early?
Yeah, like I always had the Cashh ad-lib, because for me it was just branding, innit? It's like whenever I say this on a tune, I'm promoting my name at the same time. You get me? Yeah. So, yeah.
Great ad-lib, to be fair.
Respect.
So with discovering music and then going on to make music, was it your brother that put you onto rap, or was it a thing where you were taking in rap as well as you were growing up?
Yeah, no, definitely listening to rap like from young, because even though I was in Jamaica when I first discovered music, obviously it was a mixture. It wasn't just rap, it was like soul music. I was listening to Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, and then I come England and then like I'm listening to Westlife and like
just everything is
just everything. You get what I'm trying to say? And then obviously all of the gangster rap stuff I'm listening to as well. You get me? So then once I started on my own journey, I just started gravitating to different albums. You Get Rich or Die Trying, I feel like was my first like raw. You get me? From there, even the Game documentary, them type of albums there. You get what I'm trying to say? yeah, The Blueprint, Jay-Z, just going through it, because a lot of them albums as well, I'm discovering late.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
me? 'Cause
yeah,
they've
yeah. You're
been
playing,
out,
yeah,
you
you're
get
playing
me?
catch up.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So listening to like all those different types of artists, non-rap as well, did it give you kind of different perspectives lyrically that you could then put into like material that you would then make?
I think, do you know what it did for me? One, it made me become comfortable to be vulnerable in music, because the rap songs, a man would tell you painful shit, but he won't tell you embarrassing shit. Whereas the soul music, my man's saying to his gal, he won't walk again if she don't come back home. You get me? Like, so he's hurt, fam. You get me?
Yeah, no,
Like,
it makes
so
sense.
I
It
feel
makes
like
sense.
for me, from there, that was just one thing I gravitated to. It's like, all right, then cool. If I'm gonna speak about a story, you need to feel how I feel, and in order for me to let you know how that feels, a lot of the times I have to kind of semi-embarrass myself, but I'm not embarrassed. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Maybe it would be embarrassing if you found this out, but you're not, almost like the Eminem factor.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
eight
yeah,
mile,
the
I'm
8
gonna
mile
tell
factor.
you before you. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
like you could use it against me, and yeah, I guess that played a big part in what I gravitated to. I take a lot of things from the different genres that I grew up listening to.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess it was very comfortable for you to be vulnerable and to expose yourself
Right.
in ways that, you know, others
Right.
might not necessarily.
Right.
I feel like the first time I heard you, you could tell. It was the first time I heard you personally. I remember my boy sent me a link. It was a Link Up TV freestyle.
Right, the champion
Yeah.
behind bars thing.
And I remember the first time I heard it, and I think it was talking about your aunt and a lot going on.
Yeah,
And it was like, yeah, you could tell straight away. Like the
Right.
first time I heard you, I feel like, yeah, I already know XYZ about your life.
Right.
So you can see where you got all the different kind
Yeah,
of annotations
straight
from it.
away.
And you don't play games, it was literally.
Straight away. Because even I remember around the time when I put that out, and I can't remember how, but I can't remember who the girl is, but I remember having this conversation with this girl, and she thought that she had heard some secret. She's like, yeah, I heard your mum's in jail. You know, like trying to say to this. I'm like, yo.
I've got a scoop.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone knows that.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
You get me? Everyone knows that. I've already put that out there. You get me? So stuff like that just make me feel liberated. You get me? It's like no one can't hold nothing on me. I have nothing to hide. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm a private man, but my privacy isn't secret. You get what I'm trying to say? There's a difference between having secrets and just being private. You get me? There's nothing that no one could come and expose about me that I wouldn't want.
You haven't said,
you get what I'm trying to say? That I haven't said in a tune. You
Yeah,
get what I'm trying to say?
yeah.
But is that then received well by, you know, the people that, the streets first of all, and the people that you like hang around with, and you know your network sort of thing? Because being vulnerable as a black man, especially in music, that, not to say it's taboo, but at the time it might have been more taboo than maybe it is now, sort of thing.
It's difficult, man. It's difficult, especially coming up in Peckham as well. I imagine it would be very difficult.
Do you know what it is? For me, again, the environment was nothing to me because I was just me.
It was, yeah.
Regardless of where I am, if this is how I feel, this is how I feel. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, again, it was just a defense mechanism for me. So if it makes me feel better to lay it out, and it's not like, it's almost like, even though I'm telling the world my business when I'm doing it on the tune, it's not like I'm chatting to somebody and telling them my business.
It's more just you're getting out,
getting it out. So I guess looking back now, it's kind of like, it was like therapy to me. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I know people say it, but really that's kind of what was happening, because I was feeling better when I said the shit. You get me? Rather than it was just in me. And then especially when I meet people and they're like, yo, it's like you wrote that for me. It's like, all right, cool. So I'm not the only person going through this. You get what I'm trying to say? So that just made me want to write more true shit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? And plus, to me, bro, it's embarrassing if you're going to be talking about some shit that ain't you. You get what I'm trying to say? So anything I was saying, I had to make sure that it could be fact-checked. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, anything we were saying them times. I remember saying in that champion freestyle, my auntie got shot Thursday, then my uncle died on a Friday. And I remember, like, in and around that time, there were some people that was thinking I made it up.
I think you said in your next bar, this is real talk.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, you know what I'm trying to say, because I'm thinking, like, even though, like man grew up hearing UK rap songs and hear people saying shit and all of that, like, it's never been personal to them like that. It's always been like, my man got shot, or this person, you get what I'm trying to say? I'm saying, this is my aunt and my uncle, and this is factual, you get what I'm trying to say? So when I'm saying that, back in my place in Jamaica, the whole ends is resonating to that because they remember when that happened. You get what I'm trying to say? So even to just pluck that out of thin air and put that in a lyric, there's good storytellers, but I think as a rapper, for me anyway, you get me, I can't put it in the song if it can't be fact checked.
And I think that's the thing. A lot of people can, I don't want to say lie, but a lot of people can embellish the truth. Or they can exaggerate where they came from. Or,
Right.
Like I remember, like their area could be something, but it's like they might be a good kid, but because of the area, they just want to now put on a facade.
Right.
And I feel like we've used that's the difference in it, kind of.
No, for sure. But it's because of where I originally came from. You get me? So I didn't know any different. You get me? I just grew up in the trenches. So me coming to England, I'm thinking I'm coming to something better. You get me? Peckham was just another different.
Different version.
It was still the same shit, just a different place. You get me? So nothing really was like a surprise to man in that sense. You get me? It was just more like, all right, cool. Even though I'm rapping about this, I'm rapping from a different perspective. You get me? But I went through a journey of my narrative. I went through a journey of writing from it like live. Cool, gonna done it now. We're talking about it now. But the challenge for me is talking about it, but not incriminating myself. So I'm setting challenges writing challenges for myself from early. You get me? It's like, how do you say it
without saying too much?
Without saying too much. You get me? Don't like these men that are getting nicked every 2 minutes now.
They put on social. They might put on
every single thing. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, it's a
it's
fact.
finding clever ways how to do it. So,
But they think they're being more authentic because of it, because they're just laying it out.
But I hear all of that.
there's no need for everyone. Nah,
I hear all of that. You get me? Again, as long as it can be fact checked, or a man can't say to me, this didn't happen. You get what I'm trying to say? And I can confidently look at him and say, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to say it in that way. To me, it's kind of, it's direct, and it all just depends on what your aspirations are in life, innit? If your aspiration is just to give it to them direct and they know what's happening now, then by all means, man was doing that at one point, so I can't fault no one for it. You get me? Me, just where I'm at now.
It's just there.
You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, but to be fair, I'm saying that now, but it's kind of, I've kind of just always been like that. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
100%. So you mentioned moving to Peckham. How old were you, and what was the transition like for you? 'Cause obviously you've moved to another country. It's familiar in some ways, but it's unfamiliar in a lot of other ways, I imagine.
It's completely unfamiliar. Like, nothing that man was seeing had I ever seen before. You get me? Because it was a complete different terrain to Jamaica. Like, and even where I was from in Jamaica, it's like where I'm from in Jamaica, like it's very like zinc fence. It's not like very developed.
Okay.
So me coming to England and just seeing buildings that high. You get what I'm trying to say? I guess maybe put it this way. When I first come to England, it's probably how people view America when they go there for the first time. Like, everything's just massive. Plus, I was young, innit? So everything is just already maximized anyway. So the transition for me, it wasn't a mad transition for me. I think my thing was like I was just a fresh yard youth, innit? So like coming in primary school, like I remember the first week, like I don't know how to speak in a British accent. You get what I'm trying to say? So I'm just sitting there talking straight. You get me? The man were laughing at me, but I don't know banter.
Yeah,
I just feel
don't.
like you're trying. Do you think you're
trying to violate man already?
It's a bully situation, guys. Not. You get what I'm trying to say? So I think that automatically just made me start off like that. So I was just a little yard youth that was just, you know what I'm trying to say, just always ready. It's like, no, you don't have to fight, bro. It's like,
Just ready for action.
Yeah, sure.
Just to see a man laughing, you think you're trying to violate.
Right, you get what I'm trying to say. So I've started off like that, and then the gal straight away, I've just got the mix of both, because the man them are saying, "Ah, cool, he can defend himself." It's definitely not a bullying type of situation. And then from the gal side, it's always the older girls as well that they were just always involved. So from there, the transition was cool. It's not like I was like at primary school, I'm one of the guys. Secondary school, I'm one of the guys. You get me? So it was cool still.
And how did music play a role in that? Like, were you taking in what was going on at the time, like grime, for instance? And
I remember Boy in the Corner and just hearing people playing Dizzy. Like, I remember hearing I Love You and Chantel. Shout out to Chantel. You know. Yeah. I remember Chantel just being obsessed with this tune. But again, I hated grime, innit? When I first got to
Oh, you wasn't a fan?
I didn't get it. I didn't understand why they were rapping so fast.
So, yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? And it's not like they were doing it like Twister. Twister was doing, you know what I'm saying? Twister was at least on rap beats doing. I just didn't get I didn't understand it. You get me? But funny enough, the only time I got it, Wiley took me to an Eskimo dance. Like he came, linked me, took me, and then just left me in there.
as Wiley does.
Yo, everyone's got a mad story about Wiley. Innit? Everyone's got one story with Wiley.
Like, just left me in there, took me upstairs to the VIP thing. I'm over, like looking at all the crowd, and that was the moment I got it because I felt grime. Like I felt what it was. It's not something that you could just listen to and get. You have to experience it. You get me? Like I'm seeing how everyone's, and then I started finding similarities between grime and dancehall. I'm like, they wheel up the tunes. And I'm like, okay, I get it. They're repeating the last the 4 bars again for someone else to. Do you know what I'm saying? But at first, listening to it, I didn't get it.
Right.
So I'd say I missed that era. I was never a fan of any grime tunes, really. If I was, that came after. But there was grime tunes I connected to. I think it was more the greasy ones. You get me? Like Titch and the Dizzy ones. That was, you get me? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I suppose, like, from the surface, it might be a little bit hard to identify the dancehall influence in grime until you actually, like, till it clicks at some point.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I guess it was just a case where it just needed to click sort of thing.
You might need to see it live. And
You
then
have to.
You have to see it live.
Because if you see a grime set live and you just play dancehall music over it, you could think it's a dancehall set. You get me? Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So when you're in England now, when do you start, or did you ever stop making music?
No, you know.
Okay, so you just continue making music.
I don't think since 10 years old, basically. I don't think I've ever had like a period of time in my life where it's like, I'm done. You get it? Like, I've never had that still, just continuing.
Was there ever a point that you was like, I need to take this seriously now?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely had my transition.
Was it before you made the formula?
It was after, just after. Because I remember actually, I was in the car. This is also just before I've then done that Link Up TV freestyle and all of that. And I remember like, I was gonna go OT and I was in the car with my manager at the time. And then he was saying to me like, I'm saying, boy, I'm gonna go at least rub out a month or 2 out of there. And he was just saying like, bro, like, just don't go. Yeah, we'll get in the studio and whatnot and just see what happens. You get me? And I was like, cool, we'll see what happens. Yeah. And that was it, basically. I never ended up going.
I never looked back.
And then, it just never went all, basically. From there, straight.
Interesting. So when you look back on things like, you know, the link up stuff and, you know, all of the earlier freestyles as well, like now you're a little bit older, how do you see them now? Do you see them as like you were really making a statement about what your life has been like, and you know you can kind of look back at it with pride? Do you look at it with a different lens?
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think there's anything that I look back at that I'm like embarrassed about, and I think that is like a good feeling as an artist, because enough man can't perform their biggest tunes. You get me? Like they have to not perform them. You get me? My old ones, I still run them now. You get me? Like, so I think that's a blessing for me. And when I look at them, I could definitely see exactly where I was. I remember exactly where I was, exactly what was happening, and I see the transition. But things are happening so fast now that when I do look at them now, they're seeming so long ago.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Because it's almost like, think about it. Like I had from me starting music all the way up to me then getting sent back to Yard, and then I'm in Yard for 5 years. My closest memories are what was happening before I got sent to Yard. Now I've got Yard and what happened before I got sent to Yard.
yeah.
And then I'm back now, and then there's just all these new shit that's being added to my mind. You get what I'm trying to say? And I'm trying to write songs about all of them. You get me?
Yeah, a lot of material.
So it's just like a lot of different.
Because it's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot that's happened.
It's
yeah,
a lot. So when I sit sometimes and like maybe I'll like go on like a watching spree, of watching like loads of the videos back to back to back. I'm just like, yo. Because I'm so hands-on, I remember more than just releasing it. Like, I remember the idea of how the video came about. And, do you know what I mean? It's a process, but I love it, man. Yeah, I love it still.
100%. And obviously, this is around the time, like, 2012, 2011, 2013, 14. I suppose that's when, like, the second generation of so-called road rap was happening. Did you ever consider yourself, like, a road rapper or like?
Yeah, for sure, because there weren't really much titles. I always considered myself as an artist. I always tried to, I think from my first interview that I can remember, I've always like said to camera, I'm an artist, because I didn't want to get caught in that rap box, because I was making other songs. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I didn't want it to ever feel like, right, that's a mad transition from that to that. So I always tried to, even when I was making like road greasy rap tunes, I still tried to make sure I'd slip some other songs in there so that you could get used to hearing me experiment, if that makes sense. So yeah.
What are some of your fondest memories from that era? Because it was quite a special era in the sense of some of the people that came up in that era are kind of now like stars in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Tion, Fredo, all those types of people. Like, what are some of your fondest memories from that era?
All of these lot, like Tion, Fredo, all of these men are like after me. So these lot have grown up listening to me.
Yeah, because you.
That's what I was thinking as well.
But the mad thing is, I'm like them man's age, but I was just so young.
Yeah, because I feel like Tion, Fredo, I heard, I want to say about 3-4 years after I heard you. I feel like I heard you 09 or
They were dropping
2010.
tapes
Alright.
around the same time.
Put it this way, flipping Fredo's first tune, the 100 tune, right? Link Up TV flew to Yard to do a documentary with me, and the video was dropping. That the day we were shooting the documentary, they were like, "Oh yeah, this is new. He's gonna go off."
Oh, so
Like literally, like, and then they've showed me the video before it's come out and all of that. Or when it's dropped or whatever. And that's when I first heard of him. So prior to that, I was just seeing Fred in the back of Ratlin's videos and that, you get me? But not even noticing him at that point because he weren't rapping, do you get what I'm saying? I think from that side, it was just Boss Belly and them lot that was flagging with Ratlin and that, you get me? So my side and one of my, like, fun, my memories, there's bare different things. Like, I remember... like our first shows and that, you get me? Like when we was first, them shows there, bro. We could not get stopped. It would have been a treacherous night. You get me? Like just seeing the transition of like coming up with the music and then going and performing it in front of a crowd. You get me? But it was just so, man didn't know what to expect. But man go dance and that in it, so it's the same thing. It's just standard procedures. If a man were going raving or whatever. Convoys, we're going out strong. So if we got a show, convoys, we're going out strong. You get what I'm trying to say? But we've gone bagger, man, and bro, the place is like, do you know what it is? I don't know if you lot know this venue in Harlesden, Northwest. It's called Dreams. I don't know if it's still there, but it's like a local, like they used to do like the under 18 raves and all of that in there. Bro, Sweatbox.
Oh, swear.
Sweatbox, and then this was a foam party. Do you remember it? It was like a foam party. Man's in there with a bag of the man, them fam, and this thing is just hot. And I think once we started performing like Gunshots and them kind of tunes there, it just started going mad in there. And I feel like, they weren't allowing us to perform Gunshot no more. You get me? So that's how we then made Gal Call Me Up with Style OG on the hook. And then, just from there, it was going, you get me? So I think, just stepping out in front of a crowd. I'd performed before that, like in school and whatnot, but stepping out in front of a crowd that knows the songs.
Yeah, it was the first kind of.
Was the first time, and like all the girls are at the front row. They're all just soaking wet in this foam party, fam. It was just mad for man to to be in that scenario. You get me? Like coming from where man was coming from. You get me?
Was that before a little bit of Cash?
Yeah. That's
Oh, wow,
before.
that's
Yeah,
early.
Oh, this was
that's
early,
before.
early.
Yeah, this is early.
Yeah, I can see why. There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, bro. There's a
The
lot.
man
going
that
on.
met in here, like.
You still got your guys with you, and they're just
But, you see, we're still alert, but there's a phone.
There's a lot going on.
Is this what every show's gonna be?
You're just like, this is life. I said, this is. How old are you?
Yeah. I don't even remember, bro. I don't even remember. Maybe 15, 16.
Yeah, you can't put. How you putting a 15-year-old in that position? Man say phone party, just breast out. Fam. There's a lot. Man got 11 the next day. Fam, I got GCSEs.
The man them all wandering off, going to look for things in the crowd.
Yeah.
Man's on stage, see
Yo.
the man them over there.
Just be like, you got this. Be like, yo, Cash, you got this now.
Yeah, crazy, fam.
But how did it then feel at such a young age to have people at the show knowing all of the words?
It was good, man. I don't know. Because I don't know. Once I decided I was gonna do music, and once I became a fan of me, I always visioned that to happen. You get me? So when it was happening, it was just like, then cool. This is how it feels. You get me? Like, right, yeah. I did say this was gonna happen, and now it's happening. But obviously, you look on TV. You see that there's levels to the shows. So I'm seeing where mine is.
Yeah.
At that present moment there, thinking, cool, I've experienced something now. I'll go on to other things, you get me? Because just like I envisioned, like when I was performing in school, it's the school, it's in an assembly hall. You know what I'm trying to say? I know this is where my ticket is. I'm going to be pushing out soon.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just like one step leads to
it's
another,
one
leads
step
to
at a
another.
time, you get me? So to take it from that same sweatbox to be doing like Glastonbury and all of these places, when I think about it, it's mad, bro. It's mad.
Facts, for sure. And was it always your intention to kind of merge sonically and musically merge like the two worlds of rap and dancehall together? Because you have such a unique vantage point.
I think subconsciously, bro, I don't ever want to give myself props that I don't deserve. Like, I don't want to say like I deliberately was like, let me do this and do that. But I did deliberately want to rap on the dancehall beats. I didn't know it was going to turn into a thing. You get what I'm trying to say? But like, it wasn't to start a sound or start something.
Yeah.
It was just, I wanted to rap on this because I could hear it. It's going to sound mad. And then from there, everyone started doing their own versions of being able to rap on the dancehall beats, you get me? And then big tunes have come out of that, like even Sneakball, Touch a Button, even Ratlin's Messiah. We've ended up getting like classics out of that sound. You get me?
Big facts. What are some of your favourite songs from that era?
Ooh, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie, there was so much music, but a lot of it was shit. If we're being real, we've gotten better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Celebration.
saying? Yeah, fam, you get me? The Mandem's gotten better. I think in that era, my favourite songs was from the era before. You get me? So it's like the Walk in the Parks, the Battle of the Souls, Colours, and you get what I'm trying to say, the DVS mixtapes, and because we were rapping, but I don't know, because we was just coming through, like getting through to the mainstream, the raw rap wasn't there yet. You get me? So the closest we had to that was gigs, really.
Yeah.
You get me? So really, like Walk in the Park and all of that, that would have been what we were running them times there. Early though. Like when Walk in the Park's come out, there no one don't know me for rapping yet, really.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's after all of that, and started rapping, like, and people started giving me recognition. I'd say.
So when you made a little bit of cash, what was the aim when you
a little bit of cash was like, cool. This is the moment where I need to stay in the country. You get it, and basically, I've put on my application. I've told them that I do music. But they can't see none of that old content from Cash.
Oh yeah, because then I see what you're saying.
So this is where the Cashtastic thing come in, and it's like a rebrand. And now this is where like Ghetts and the Rave and them songs of Krept and Konan start coming, so that when they search that, they will see that type of stuff. You get it? The intention from that was like, I don't know, bro. It's mad because I look back at it, and man I didn't really embrace that moment. Like when I look back, I should have embraced that more because I was young. I was maybe 17 at the time. This is like, I tell you what's mad. You see what I'm about to say to you? In my mind, the only people that I've seen do that is like Chip and them, man. But I was basically 17 with the CDs and HMVs and we're going in there and the shelf's gone and all of that stuff. But when I think about artists that done that, I'm thinking of Chip. I'm not realizing that I've done that as well, fam. You get what
And
I'm
in
trying
the
to
UK,
say?
it's not a lot of people.
Yeah, you
It's
get
not
me?
a
Like,
lot.
even in terms of the fact, man's gone in HMV. HMVs are not even about no more
yeah,
like
it's a
that,
fact.
fam. So the
Yeah,
fact
yeah.
that we even managed to get to a stage where we could get CDs in there and go into the stores and see Cashh, a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think that was like, cool, we're stepping out now type of situation. You get me? Like the videos, the budgets was getting a bit better. There was a bit more structure to what we was doing. I'd say at that point now, yeah, it was definitely like focused on music when we was doing a little bit of Cashh.
But did you say you didn't enjoy that moment as much?
I didn't acknowledge it or embrace it. I was just in it.
Is it because you didn't know what you was doing like you don't know the significance of what you're doing at the
everyone
time?
was telling me to. You get me?
Yeah.
Like everyone was telling me to. Even certain things, just like, yo, like go buy a rollie, man. Like go on like go. You get me? A bad
Yeah.
thing is like, yeah, nah, next project. You get me? Like next project,
just tunnel
next
vision.
project. Yeah, I was just on that. You get me? So looking back now, I feel like it probably would have done me some justice, or it could have done me some justice, but it might have worked against me too. I might have seen that shit and been like, ah, cool, I've made it.
And
You
then
get me? Like, what? Man's in HMV, man can't chat to me. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah.
And then before you know it, I ain't dropped a project in how long, and I feel like, you get what I'm trying to say? So everything happens for a reason still.
But even like artistically, was there like an aim as far as like
Yeah, for sure. I think the same aim with all of the projects is just to let the world hear where I am as an artist and how I've evolved. With a little bit of Cashh, like I remember like doing interludes and shit that man weren't doing in the UK rap scene. You get what I'm trying to say? And again, that's a mixtape, but it was like my version of how to do a mixtape. You get me? Really, it sounds, when you listen back to it, it's like it's structured like an album, having skits and all of that type of shit. You get me? Caring about how this song ends and leads into the next song. All of that stuff from early, like man's really passionate about. You get me? How the videos are structured, how we're putting together. I'd say the only thing that wasn't like a main focus at that point was marketing, innit, boom? Like we never really focused on marketing like that because it was just there. Like there wasn't social media like that to get to so many people's phones and all of that so quickly. So I guess the marketing really was just outside. It's like poster campaigns and
Word
shit
of
like
mouth.
that, but and mainly word of mouth, really. You get me? So we didn't really get to do the whole billboard shit and all of that stuff until I got back to the UK. You get me? That's the first time I've done that, and like most of my peers, there's bare levels that bare people have ticked, bare boxes that they've ticked that I'm still yet to tick, basically, because I was gone for those years.
And that was kind of, do you think when you went was right on the precipice of?
Yeah, it's just when I was about
It was,
to
that's
do
what I thought as well.
It's
Yeah,
just when
because
I was about to
I feel
do
like
all
when
of
you
that.
left, it was just
Literally,
you was just about to kind of exceed yourself,
Literally,
and it was just
bro.
as it happened.
Justly.
Were you making like an album before up to that point?
Yeah, we was in the middle of the campaign. So that project was called Alarm Clock. And on that project now, again, I'm lifting it. This is where marketing kicked in now. I remember, because we had bare features on there. On Alarm Clock, who we got on there? We got Krept Konan. I got a song, audio biography. I put Wiley, Ghetts, Krept and Konan on there. And the concept of that tune is basically everyone's got 8 bars to talk about how, basically what you lot asked me, like how did you start music, basically. So you have to rap for 4 bars and then talk for 4 bars. So even like telling these artists to do that at that point, bro, like I can just hear how I was trying to push just how music is received from our scene, from them times there, do you know what I mean? And
Super
then,
conceptual.
right, and then the marketing behind it now, I did this thing where instead of just doing the track listing and you seeing who's on the project, we designed like, almost like, think of it like Pokemon cards type of situation. We designed these things where like, I announced at the beginning of the week, basically on Twitter and Instagram, it was early these times, that basically every day, a different artist who's featured on the project is gonna post their version of this, basically.
Yeah,
So it wasn't me announcing it.
it's
The features announced themselves. You get what I'm trying to say? But all of the cards are designed the same. Like all of the artwork's designed the same. So one day Krept and Konan's posted it. Next day, Ghetts has posted it. So it's making, and it's always at the same time every night. So now the whole scene's.
So now everyone knows what time it is.
Everyone's
Every
waiting,
night.
Everyone's
Yeah.
waiting to see who's gonna announce, and it's at random. We got Lady Leisha, we got Fecky, we got who else do we have? We got Style OG on there. Like there was so many different features on there. It was just popping up left, right, and center. Youngin was on there as well, innit? And yeah, I'd say that was like, alright, cool. Fully focused now. This is like Still Bangles is in his like he's in the lab.
This when Still Bangles.
Like, Bangles is in the lab. He's in the lab, like because at that point, like we're doing things like what I'm explaining and not getting the ratings for it. So it's like both of us got fire in us. Like this project was like, nah, I'm gonna like that's why it's called alarm clock. Like you lot need to wake up type of situation. You get me? And I remember like being in the studio, and I know Bangles is frustrated, you get me? But how does a producer at that point reveal their frustration? So I remember there was a song on there, and I told him, I was like, record, just say how you feel, basically. And that's the first time he's gone on there. He's on there going, I'm like,
Well, Still Bangles started rapping with it.
Nah, he's talking, he's ranting.
Oh, okay.
You get
Oh,
me?
he's just fuming.
He's
Yeah.
like, we're the controllers. We put man in videos and we do this shit. You get me? I'm like, yeah.
No, I respect that. I respect it.
Yeah, I'm talking shit, you get me? And I think, again, like, people hearing that at the time, like the fans of that project, like hearing that at the time, it was just so mad because we've worked on all of that. We've got Jay Spades on there, all of that type of shit. And it's like, I'm promoting it, that it's coming out. Remember all of the artists bro, I'm in the detention center.
Oh, bro.
No one knows this. I'm like in my cell and hearing like One Extra promote that I'm coming in on Friday and shit. But I'm not.
And you don't know,
You get what I'm trying to say? So it was just that project, like for what it was gonna be, I know what it was gonna be, fam. You get me? Because when I listen back to it now, I haven't listened to it in a minute, but the last time I listened back to it, I could just hear the quality that I was pushing out. You get me? Yeah.
You know, sonically, it was definitely like unlike anything that was in the scene at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And clearly you had the respect of pretty much all corners of the scene as
Right,
well.
right.
Like you cultivated that a lot even in the time that you had before you got deported as well.
Right.
Around what year was this?
2014.
2014.
March.
Okay.
How did you link up with Still Bangles? Because I feel like you were the first person I heard him with.
Yeah, because he kind of, when did he start making, like, he had bare songs after, like, Bad, all of that, but I was like, years later, like, he kind of went out.
Right.
Yeah.
So Bangles was, I met Bangles through Young Meth, rapper. He used to be called Youngster. OG in the UK rap thing still. He's fresh home as well. Big up Youngs. Flipping Youngster is on like, he's like gigs level at this point. You get me? He's come to Unit 10, which is like a studio that we recorded in the ends. All Talking the Hardest, all of the classic tunes are recorded in there. He's come there to do a tune with gigs, and he's heard me rapping, and that's how me and him's connected basically. And he was recording at Bangles at the time. So me and him started doing a project together, advanced music, and we basically did it at Bangles. You get me? So this is now the first time I'm like going to East London, and that's how I've then come out of Peckham.
Yeah.
And like I'm seeing different sides, you get me? For a youth of my age group, you get me? Because the man them before that, we'd go west and all of that, to go do a little fuckeries and that, you get me? But you get me? I weren't really going east like that. So yeah, I met Bangles through Youngster still.
Interesting.
And what's the
Youngster,
process?
to be fair, sorry, let me Youngster connected, I'm pretty sure, Bangles to Krept and Konan as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you get me? And then it's like, so say it's from there, I've then passed the baton on. So you lot probably first heard of Bangles through me because he was my main producer at the time, you get me? And I was making sure that I always grow with people, innit? So I was making sure he weren't just a producer in the background. He's the producer, but you see him where I am and all of that type of stuff. And then through there, also done like the whole, like what he does now, Still Bangles featuring, what gave him the opportunity to do that. The first song, I think the first song I gave him was a tune me and Margs did. And I said to him, you can run with that. So that was his first Still Bangles featuring Cashh and Margs, you get me? And then from there, obviously he's gone on, he just dropped a tune with Burna Boy.
Yeah, Still Bangles are out of here. Still Bangles are out of
You know
here.
what I'm saying?
Still Bangles are out of here.
Right, so
I remember interviewing him years ago, and he was on the same flex, like, yo, give me my flowers.
right.
I think he called himself like this Cristiano Ronaldo.
Nah,
like,
he
UK
been
rap.
you know what? Secretly, yeah, I'm telling people right now, Bango's got a bit of Kanye, the little Kanye chip. Yeah,
But they
the
just,
little-
I'm betting you, and it
Shout
is what
out to
it
the little
is.
Kanye
Yeah.
chip that, but to be fair, most of the man them that like are like that. I think, do you know what it is? There's a frustration that's in you, especially when you see what fuckeries are out there.
That's
Like,
what it is. That's exactly
when you
what it
see
is.
what people are going mad for, you're like, yo, are you lot not hearing? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So whereas me now, if you're not hearing it, I feel like you're missing out. So I don't cater to you. You get me? You get me? I'm like, you don't know what's happening. Cool. You get me?
It's your loss, isn't it?
Yeah, it's your loss. Whereas other people might view that like, yo, no, you need to listen to me. Like my thing is like, fam,
If you don't get it, it's not for you.
what the heck am I gonna be forcing you to come and listen to me for? Like, if you know my name exists, right? And it's not, and I haven't dropped anything to draw you to make you wanna, then it's just not for you. Cause I'll be drawing people every day. You get what I'm trying to say? It's just the people that I guess connect to what I want them to hear and what they want to connect to. You get me? So yeah, there's and don't get me twisted. Like I have that within me too, but I take that frustration out in just making it more inclusive, like in terms of like, you're pissed you don't know about this. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, listen to what's happening. By the time you hear this, it's gone.
Yeah.
You get me?
What was the process for like picking beats back then? Because like Ghetts and the Rave is very different to like Conversations with Cashh.
Right,
innit?
right.
How would you pick your beats?
All right, so Ghetts and the Rave, big up Wise, the producer for that. Ghetts and the Rave was when I was getting sent beats. Conversation with Cashh is when we're producing the songs. That's
Okay.
Bangles now, and we're in the lab and we're working on the sound and we're just tweaking things and literally working on the sound from scratch.
So are
like-
you telling him what you want to talk about and then he makes it, or is he making it and you're
Do you
like,
know
you
what?
know what?
I'm not gonna lie, because Bangles again, like when I build with a producer, we don't usually like the man might send me ideas and then we build from there. But them times there it was just straight in the studio. We lived in that studio, fam. You get me? So like struggling in there, but making bangers. You get me?
Yeah.
So it's more like, all right, cool. A day would probably be when I wake up, flipping. We had like a guest card for the hotel across the road. One man at a time can go over there and shower. You get me? You get me? Stop at the shop close next to it, buy a little pot noodle, come back to the studio. You get me? Bangles was smoking his cigarette them times there. Me, I weren't smoking nothing them times there. So I'm just there waiting for him to finish.
Yeah.
And I'd always jot down ideas in it, so it might just be a line. It might be something that happened yesterday. And I'll just put that line down and then I'll just lock it in my mind. And then the next day I'll just make the song grow from there. So when he gets back in, just however he's feeling, he'll just start making and I'll go from there. Or I'll just give him what the line is and he'll go from there. And then we just literally build it. So most of them songs were created like I'm writing while he's building it. Do you know what I mean? So the metronome's going...
Yeah. I think it's a different kind of relationship when it's in-house.
Yeah, like when it's at that point, I'm over there somewhere and I know it's going in the right direction because he don't know what I'm writing about. You understand? So it's like where if it goes somewhere, I'm like,
Yo, bring it back.
Go like this, I cool. You know what I mean? And then it just
And then go back to writing.
it just goes from there, basically.
Okay.
How's that changed over the years? Or if it has it changed at all?
Not really, you know. I'd say the only difference now is it kind of happens like in reverse. So Deanie Boy is now basically, he does the same thing that Bangles was doing for me at that point. Like I'm growing with him at the moment with the sound and
He's a dope producer.
yeah, man.
He
big
made
up to
Trench
him.
Baby.
Yeah, he made Trench Baby and whatnot. So same stuff, but the difference with me and Deanie now, we had to do what me and Bangles was doing remotely because he's in England at the time and I'm in Jamaica.
Okay.
So we're having like WhatsApp sessions. Like we're on WhatsApp. He's connecting his phone to the speaker, or we're on Skype, and I'm in my room pacing around, and he's playing the rhythm through. He's making the beat through the. Do you know what I mean? So same process really. To the point where now it just got to a place where he'll just send me the idea basically, and we'll then have a day where we either go back through it, add to it. But a lot of our songs we live with it. So our songs we can have songs ranging, living with them for up to like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And if they still sound solid, then we know, all right, cool, you go. Some of them, they don't last. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Most of them, to be fair, have made it. To be fair, do you get me?
I
Most of
think
them's
they
made
aged-
it.
they
But
aged,
what we
yeah.
do is we enhance them. It's like, right, this one's mad. Let's bring it to 2023. 808s, bring whatever the new sound is. Do you know what I mean? We have my a cappella from what I recorded from before. Just build and enhance the beat around that, and then I'll just record again. Sometimes I'll write fresh and take some sections from the song, and do you know what I mean? But it just depends. There's a whole process, but it's pretty much the same thing. I basically co-produce most of the stuff, because even if, for example, Dini will send me the beat and I will arrange it. So maybe what his outro is, because there's no drums at that bit, I might want my verse to end like that. So I'll cut that and then put it at the end of my verse. And then do my chops in and around my vocals and shit. You get me? So by the time it's time to send off to mix and master, I'm sending my session of the version of his rhythm.
Yeah, you've kind of changed
he
it
don't
up,
even
like,
have
yeah.
that version.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, yo, send it to me.
Like you fit around your verse depending on what your verse is.
So yeah, it's just a collaboration, man.
So, are you always recording for songs to be on a project, or is it a thing where if it moves you, you just record, and if you have a project that you want to do, you might revisit certain things?
Do you know what it is? I write in delays. So, if I'm like, for example, everything I'm going through right now, I'll probably start writing next year. Hopefully. Sometimes it's longer than that. Sometimes it's longer than that. But this is the first time I've been so up to date. Where it's like I could write something new and I know that, right, it's coming out soon. You get me? Like, and I prefer that, to be fair. You get me? Because a lot of the songs, even though I like them living over a period of time, we didn't necessarily do that deliberately. It was just these songs are too big to drop while I'm in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So let's just hold them. And then it just 5 years passed and they were like fine wine. So it's like, cool, let's just enhance them. Do you know what I mean? So like there's songs older than that, like 7 years and all of that I still can't drop now. Like these songs will buy my houses and all of that, but I still can't drop them now because I have to grow to that as an artist. But I know they're gonna stand the test of time because it's been like 7 years and they're still there. You get me? And we ain't even enhanced them yet. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you hold that back? How do you stop
That's
yourself
what I was
from?
about to ask.
Because if you know what it's gonna be, how do you not kind of leap to
It's
it?
because for example, like with this thing, you have to accept, right, that being good isn't enough, right? And the song being good isn't enough. There's so many other factors in order for the world to hear it, there's different components that have to be connected. And a lot of times, a great music is lost. It's lost because the campaign wasn't right. It's lost because people just don't know it exists. You get what I'm trying to say? That's why enough times you'll have like, when someone puts you onto a new artist and then you hear something from their first project and you're like, yo, this tune's mad, but it's like, yeah, I put that out still. Like,
And you're playing catch up, yeah.
I put that out still, but no one heard because I couldn't promote it properly. So for me, it's easy. Like, for example, there's a song on the new project that we've had. This is one of them songs. It's one of the house songs, right? Not the genre. Yeah,
I can't let you got me shook there, bro.
Right.
I can't let you got me shook there, bro.
Chuck that out
I
there
said,
quickly,
wait, house.
yeah. It's one of the songs that will buy the houses.
Serious,
right?
innit?
Cash secretly has an Honestly Nevermind album.
You know what I'm saying? somewhere. Like, probably, to be fair. But yeah, like we want to put it on a project that's coming now because it feels like it could now. Like it feels like I've built to that now where I can put it out. But if we put it out after what we're gonna do this year, you get what I'm trying to say?
It's just one of those things.
And it's easy for me to make that decision because I've seen it. It's like, yo, imagine if we dropped it 3 years ago and now we didn't have that as a bullet. Because when we walk into rooms and we play that, they know it's gonna buy the houses. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's just timing it and basing it off of what the logistics are. Like realistically, can we promote a song this big now?
Yeah.
It's about putting the building blocks in.
Right.
We had a guest, shout out to Lewis Culture, who basically is a rapper and he released what he considers like his rap album, like after he released something that was very experimental. And he's expressed some level of regret with that because it was a thing of this is my introduction to people, but people kind of don't know who I am and they don't know that I can really rap sort of thing. So I guess it's the kind of same thing.
Right,
making sure that things are in the right position for it to hit as many people as potentially as possible.
100%. And I think that's why a lot of rappers like shy away from their first album, like calling something their album, is because you want to do that when the machine is there. You get what I'm trying to say? But I don't know, I'm kind of in that space now where, blood, you might not even live to put that album out, fam. You get me? And then now you're just an artist that don't have catalogue. So you've been here for how many years, and all we've got is just stuff you've called your mixtape. You get what I'm trying to say? At some point you have to step out. Like, for example, like Jay-Z's first album, he never had the budget to promote that like he's gonna promote his next album. You get what I'm trying to say? But that doesn't take away from, if you like him as an artist and you go through his discography, you're gonna hear that same way. You get me? So it's just a part of the journey. Not everyone stays for the full journey, but that's all right. You get me? And I think that's how I can comfortably be as an artist as well. Like, I could butt people who are fans from back in the day who don't know the new mixtape. But for me, it's still all right because you're still a part of that journey. Because once I put like together like the headline show, the tours, there'll be people from that generation,
that's still gonna come out.
New generation, the next generation, and you lot are all in one building. You get what I'm trying to say? And that is the journey. So it's like real life lyricism. It's like I broke down in terms of the storytelling. There'll be people in there that's from the beginning, in the middle. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's like, this is where we're at right now, all the way up until someone that discovered me from the new mixtape while you wait and don't know nothing from before that. You get me?
I feel like as an artist, you might prefer that in some ways.
100%.
You might prefer
you have to. You have to. Like, bro, the shit I was talking about when I was 15, like, even if I'm going to talk about it now, it's going to be better. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm going to articulate it in a different way. You understand? But then better could be subjective. Someone could hear that and say, well, nah, I preferred how you said it then. But then I haven't grown with you as an artist. So just listen to my catalogue from there to there then. That's not a problem. You get me? I don't need to lose you as a fan because you don't like my new stuff. You get what I'm trying to say? You could just listen to from this year to that year during the concert. And while you're here, you then hear some shit that like, raw, actually, this is the experience that Wiley gave Cashh. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be there. You get me?
But it feels like you've had this kind of mindset where you're kind of thinking like 5 steps ahead from a young age. Has that always been the case? Yeah, for sure. Not necessarily to do with music, it's just how I move in real life. You get me? Just a survival toolkit, you get me? Learn it from my mum, learn it from the man them, you get me? Just learn it from growing up in the jungle, you get me? You kind of have to be steps ahead, or certain things that are like inevitable. If it's inevitable, fam, unless it's death, to me, I could prepare for anything else then. You get what I'm trying to say?
Facts.
Only thing I can't prepare for is death, fam, you get me? I could prepare to go through that door and know what's on the other side. I could prepare to make sure that, you get what I'm trying to say? You can plan it out. Obviously, God's the biggest of planners, isn't it? So I could plan as much as I want to plan, but I'm not going to be in the room with no plan. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to try to do the best plan you can have,
sort of
and if it pans out,
whether or not it goes that way or not, at least I have the skeleton and the direction of where to head in, you get me? So, yeah.
I had a question for you. While you was in Jamaica during, how long was you there for? Did you say about 5 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, you had way more bigger things in your mind, but was you keeping an eye on what's going on in the UK music-wise?
Every day.
What was you thinking?
Yeah, I was just watching it grow. So the first generation that's come through is Huss and Mo and them lot. So I'm liking it. You get what I'm trying to say? Dave is coming through.
Yeah.
So, and then also Kojo. So I'm hearing really, them man are sounding like they're making, it's like a new version of what we was doing.
That's what I was thinking as well.
It's like we were rapping on the dancehall beats and they're more doing melodies on there. So it just felt like an evolution of what we helped to create. To me, I was just like, all right, cool, well, if this is what we're doing, everyone's finished when I get
Let me touch back there, yeah.
You get me? I was looking at it like, yeah, I'm happy for that and seeing like what was happening with the scene. In terms of like certain of the video, it was the videos. Because, you know, when you're going from scenes, you know a man's elevation by the videos.
Yeah.
You get me? From what the first video is to when he either signed some sort of deal, or you kind of know something's going on.
Yeah,
even if you don't know.
There's a switch up here.
You can see something's going on. The camera's a bit sharp today.
That's 4K right there.
Right.
I said, what are we doing here?
I was watching that from overseas, and yeah, I was proud of the game still.
But when you were back in Jamaica, what was your plan? You've mentioned having a plan and always having a plan, but what was your plan once you got there? Because obviously it was unexpected. Well, I imagine it was unexpected in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
What was the plan when you got there?
Just to get back to the UK. That was the only plan. There was no other plan. Like, it was really just to get back to the UK, and I can't get back to the UK without new music, so I'm gonna record while I'm here. But that was it. You get me? I think if I had any other plans, so the plan wasn't like to go and do big collaborations with the artists out here and start pushing music out here. That wasn't the plan. You get me? Like, it could have been a plan, but it wasn't.
I think I saw you on the Ain't on Nothing. I think I saw you in a few.
Yeah. So you're right.
You showed your face a couple times.
Yeah. So but that was my thing. My thing was like, I know I can't be as hot as I was when I was there, but I'm not gonna go cold turkey. It's like every now and then you need to see Cashtastic's name,
Which makes sense.
pop up.
Yeah.
You get, just so that, because I knew I was gonna return, innit? Like, even though it was contrary to what most people thought, I knew I was gonna return. So my thing is like, all right, cool. You just can't forget about me completely. You get me? Like, it can't be one of them names that's just like lost. Do you get me? Like, every now and again, you've got whoever's forwarding, and then a way of positioning myself like that. I have to put myself in a place where it's like, when people forward from England, from the scene to Jamaica, they got to link me. So in order to, it's easier said than done, but you got to make yourself needed, innit? You got to make, okay, cool, when they're on the island and they want to move around safely and they want to wear their jewelry and they want a link to accommodation and they want a link to transportation and catering and where to go, and you got to link Cashh. You get what I'm trying to say? So now when I'm linking you, you're and you chuck up the picture, you're reminding everybody without me dropping music. You get what I'm saying? So all of those things played a part. Like, within them 5 years, like, we even did like the Intent 2 movie. Like,
Yeah, you did, innit?
do you understand? And that's all of that's happened. That's on Netflix now, and I did that before I got back. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's always just doing subtle things to keep my name floating in and around, so that when I was here, it wasn't like a who. You get what I'm trying to say? It's more like a swear.
Yeah. I know. Because I guess if you go cold turkey, it's more.
Right. It's got, you get me? It was a cold turkey. It's like, he's back.
And that's, my man,
I thought he was back already too.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Artistically, though, what was happening for you out there as well? Artistically, what were you? How were you
Bro.
going to figure out the next style? What you were going to
I'm not
incorporate?
gonna lie, bro. I went through, like, when I go on the old Mac, 'cause I got a Mac that had for the whole 5 years. That's like the vintage. That's good. When I listened to, I was proper experimenting out there, like.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah,
I
like,
call
but
that as well.
I'm only realizing that now that you've asked that, because enough of the stuff, like, even though, like, as artists, we make music and all of that type of stuff, but not everything is worthy to get off the laptop. You know what I'm trying to say? And I've listened to stuff and it's like, I could hear this is good, but it would be hella confusing. You get me? I can hear who I was listening to at the time. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I remember I could hear some of the stuff I can hear when it's like, when halftime came in, like the halftime beat, BPM, it's like, there's an error, Meat Meal flow. There's like different times, and if you listen to the old songs, you can hear what was happening at the time. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, you listen to that and you're trying to do that in 2023, this guy, big man.
Allow it.
Set up quick and fast. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's not that what you're saying ain't good. It's, you need to, you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, man, a lot of the stuff, I feel like I was experimenting, but the main thing I think I was trying to figure out and get right was just melodies.
Yeah.
When I look back now, you get me? It was just me trying to make sure that I've got melodies and gain confidence in singing and pushing myself, like, lyrically, but also like melodically, because it's like I wanted to still have the same lyricism, like with melodies that I do with bars. You get what I'm trying to say? I wanted to still say some shit that made you say, rah, you get me? Like, rah, did he just say that? Because that's I got that from Mavado. Mavado does some shit like that. You get me? Like, when the man at Max B did shit like that, like the melody man them, you get me? So yeah,
because that was the first thing I like picked up on as well. Like, the melody became a bit more melodic.
Right.
Whilst being out there.
Yeah,
and I think to myself, had you not gone back to Jamaica, would that
wouldn't
still
do
happen?
you know what? Like I used to say that, but then I listened to Conversation with Cashh, And that chorus, I'm basically singing on that. You
are.
understand?
Yeah,
Time
yeah.
and time
Yeah,
again. I see your friend and David.
yeah.
You understand? And that, I'm not realizing that's singing, but really,
Deep down.
that's what I was doing. But
Yeah.
I was confident then to put that out in an era of UK, really the golden UK rap era. I'm putting that out comfortably. Like at no point am I thinking like, wow, what are they gonna think? Ever. You get what I'm trying to say? Same thing now. Like I don't, because I don't business about how you receive it. You get me? My thing is just to give it out to the world, and how they receive it. Everyone's gonna receive what you give differently, innit? So imagine if I'm paying attention to how everyone's receiving it. Fam. Like I'll lose my mind.
Yeah,
you
you
get
drive
me?
yourself
So I
nuts.
just focus on making it the best product that I can make it, and then just put it out there.
Was there ever a feeling that crept into you while you were there that you might not be able to come back?
Nah, never. No, never, ever. I didn't know when it was gonna happen as well, but I just knew.
At some point.
It's not like I had a date, like 2019 March, you're gonna return. Like I didn't know when it was gonna happen, but yeah, I just knew. It just didn't feel like
It was forever.
it ends there.
Yeah.
You get it? So
Do you get tired of talking about it?
do you know what? Big up my brother George. George asked me that recently. He's like, yo, like in interviews. And I said to him, I don't know, maybe one day, but I'm not at that stage yet. I think it's less of me being tired of talking about it and more, I guess, I don't want people to get tired of hearing me talk about it. It's like, rah, you talk about that again. You talk about, and it's like, bro, they're asking me.
Yeah.
If it's up to me, we'll talk about some different shit. You know what I'm trying to say? But I don't mind it because it's almost like, again, my branding side, innit? It's like Coca-Cola don't just do one advert. You don't just tell the story once. You get what I'm trying to say? So even if someone has watched this and they're hearing the story again, they're gonna hear a different part to it.
Yeah.
You get me? Like it's gonna come out. Bliss said this actually, my baby mother. She said like every time I say the story, there's a different part that she learns that she never knew before. You get what I'm trying to say? So yeah.
And I feel like as time goes on, I feel like people are naturally going to stop asking. Whereas, like, the more music you made, the more as time goes on,
it just becomes a part of your legacy. It's almost like the way I view it like 50 Cent got shot 9 times. I got sent back to yard. That's my thing.
Thanks.
And it's like,
it goes.
it's right, but there's like a whole new generation that don't even know 50 Cent got shot 9 times.
Yeah.
He's worked his way out of that.
which is wild, yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like all of these power fans and that,
Yeah.
they have no
Exactly.
idea about anything to do with they don't know who Ja Rule is. You get what I'm trying to say? Big part to 50's
Probably for the
career.
best.
You get what I'm trying to say? They don't even know. So for me, it's just
Probably for the
I
best.
just need to work my way out of it, and I can't fast track that in
Yeah.
it. So.
Whereas I feel like, I guess for the people that are our age, it's going to be part of your legacy
Right.
kind of forever because
Right,
it's like
right.
the story.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's just the way the story's written.
Right. Especially, it's like whatever I go on to do, you'll know where it was coming from. You
Yeah.
get what I'm trying to say? Even now, it's like when I see certain people in the streets, like for them, like the way they're looking at me, it's not like they're looking at a famous person. They're looking at someone that was actually in yard. It's like, yo, like once I never thought I'd actually see you again.
Like, yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So that in itself is just the legacy in itself. It's like the fact that you could survive out there for that long. Man, go out there on holiday for 2 weeks and want to come home after 5 days. You get what I'm trying to say? So the fact that I could go out there, again, big up Zeeks, he said this the other day, is like, not everyone can get sent back to Jamaica, come back to England, and go back to Jamaica frequently. You get me? Like a lot of these lot that talk about where they're from and all of these things, like it shows you don't really see them go there. You get what I'm trying to say? And for man, it feels good that I can go home whenever I want and be embraced by the people at home. You get me?
And also musically, you don't know
Yeah.
what it could do being away for 5 years
Right.
and not being in the UK making music.
Right.
Like, if you come back, anything could happen.
Of
Do you know what I
course,
mean?
of
Like, your
course.
music could have sounded like you was trying to play catch up from
Right,
20.
right,
Do you know what I mean? You could have been
right,
trying
right.
to pick
It's
up
like
from
when
where
the
you left
Joe
off.
man them come out.
Exactly, and they're trying to pick up from where they left off.
Right,
And it's like the scene has gone so many steps
Right,
ahead. And it's
right,
like,
right.
so there's so many things that could have happened.
Right.
And alhamdulillah, did, but it's
Yeah.
just so many things that could have led.
Nah, for sure. But I think that to answer your question, if I was paying attention to the scene, like it's that like that's why I needed to pay attention to it. I didn't want to come here and you're telling me who J Huss is. Why? I should
Facts,
know.
yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? I gotta know who he is. I gotta know what levels they're at. Like what's the videos looking like? Like who's setting the levels? You understand? Like, who have I got to say out then, cool, this person is there. What's my way of doing that?
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah.
Is there an aspect of your time back in Jamaica that maybe you haven't mentioned publicly that impacted you as a musician or even as a man?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Loads of different things, man. Loads of different things. I think even in terms of like becoming a father, because my daughter was born in the UK, but like I'm on FaceTime while they're in the hospital and all of that type of shit. So that in itself, like not being able to be there for her birth, that does something to you as a writer. You get me? Like you can now tap into a place that maybe someone who doesn't experience that can't. You get what I'm trying to say? Stuff like that. And it's like, it's a joyful moment, but it's bittersweet. You get what I'm trying to say? Like you're watching your daughter, like the birth, but you're not there. How does that sound?
That's a lot.
You get me? Like, how does that sound? You get me? So just like stuff like that. But all of that be coming out in the new project. Like just talking about more of like personal side, relationship side, like just how everything went. Because I feel like everyone talks about like the immigration side of stuff, but like there's loads of different things that happened in between that I guess morphed me into who I am now, like who's speaking to you now, you get me?
You can imagine though.
Yeah, and this version of who I am right now, talking to you, wasn't always there, you get me? Like, I didn't always have, like, I've always had the patience, but I didn't always have the tolerance. Like, it was a lot shorter before, you get me?
You've been for therapy?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure.
But had you done it around a little bit of Cashh times or way after?
Nah, you know.
Because I feel like you come from a very deep place and a place of pain, innit? So like, even from listening to the music back then, you would think that maybe you've kind of been in.
But that's what I was saying. That's why. That's what I was doing.
It was your therapy, yeah.
I'm only realizing that now when I look back, you get me? Because I only did therapy when I got back to the UK for the first time in my life, you get me? And just the concept of how therapy works and all of that, I realized that's what I was just my own therapist. You get me? Really and truly, I was just venting, but I guess no one was there to ask me questions.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between actually having a therapist, you get me? But all of that stuff, I guess, played a part. Yeah, that's also played a part in being able to. I wouldn't say like therapy don't make you calm and shit like that. You get me? Like that's not what I got out of it. I just more can connect why certain things are the way they are with me. It's like maybe this is a reason why I do this in this kind of way, and maybe I haven't even discovered why I do something like this yet. But at least I know I do it.
Yeah.
You get me? Rather than I'm in it and don't even know that I'm doing it. You get me? So when I'm doing it, whether it's good or bad, it's like, fuck, I realize I'm doing this thing.
It's just the awareness, isn't it?
It's just being aware.
Yeah.
You get me?
So we are back in the UK. Was it a case of musically picking up where you left off, or was it a thing where you felt like you had to prove yourself all over again?
Bit of both, because the first song we was gonna go with, we didn't end up going with it. We had to end up building back to it, because my thing was like, we needed to remind them that we can still do what they love us to do first, which is why I did the Daily Duppy first.
Yeah, I remember.
So it's like, cool. I could come back with a big glossy video and we was gonna do like have the video on the plane you get me? Like,
That's a creative film on the plane. But I said, we're here.
It's like a different type of thing. You get me? It's like, everyone does the champagne thing.
When they first went home with it,
My thing's gonna be different. Like, man's coming from the plane. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, do you know what? Again, like, paying attention to what was happening. Like, I think I'm probably the only one to do an international Daily Duppy. Like, I did a Daily Duppy in Jamaica.
You did, didn't it? Yeah.
While I was out there. So I was like, do you know what? It was either going to be a fire in the booth, Daily Duppy. I feel like I need to go and, like, chat to them, but let them hear how I talk now. You get me? So the Daily Duppy was me barring at the same time, but then I did the melodies in there.
Yeah.
So you're getting something at the same time. And I guess it was good for me as a starter, because the lyrics and the shit pop up in it. So you're actually visualizing what I'm saying. And funny story behind that, Assad, big up brother Assad, he originally used to edit the Daily Duppies, but he stopped, right? I don't know, maybe I think yesterday's price was not today's price for him no more. Yeah, and I remember shouting Posty and these lot, and basically they were like they're waiting to find an editor or whatever. But my man was a fan from back in the day. So when they told him it's mine, he was like, fuck it, I'll just edit this one. And he went to town. Like,
Yeah, that was a
look
crazy,
back at that edit.
crazy daily.
Like, they've done some mad edits since. But if you look at the edit of My Daily Duppy, fam, like, he went crazy with it. And obviously for him, he's a fan hearing it before the world's heard it. So that was what gassed him to edit it even better. He's like, yeah, man, this is... So that just started to us, alright, cool, we're hearing from a fan already that they're fucking with it, get me? So
yeah, the anticipation I remember for the Daily Duppy when you come back.
Right.
The anticipation was through the roof.
Right.
Like, I remember everyone was just on toast all the time. So the day was coming out, I was like, alright, cool.
And I guess it validated what you had planned to do anyways as well, right? It kind of galvanized you to kind of follow that course.
For sure. Because it literally went how I saw it going. You get me? It went how I saw it going. It was mad to see how people react to it though, because even though like it was like across a certain amount of days, right, that we planned the rollout. There's like a sharp, impactful rollout, right? The first day we're gonna show them that I'm actually here. So we did like the footage of me coming through the airport and shit, and then like when I edited it, I made sure that everyone thought their phone froze. But it froze on Heathrow, so that just confirmed, like, I'm right in front of it. But
Like, what's going on?
But I just, like, copied and pasted it as a picture. So everyone's thinking their thing's frozen for a second, but that was just, like, the first confirmation, like, right, he's actually here. And then the next day, we made them basically see the reaction to my peers seeing me return, basically. So I think the Bangles one, I did the Ghetts one, I did a Western one, I did a Kenny All-Star one. All of these, like, I'm just pulling up on them. They don't know, and we're just filming their natural reaction. You get me? And Bangles his one went viral because he was crying and all of that shit. You get me? So I think people who missed the post from the day before saw this one.
So it's just something to keep.
Right, you understand? So now I know that that's flying. The next day we had like a history lesson post ready where it's like I've chopped up all of my shit that I did before. This is for like the people that are like, who is this that everyone's talking about? And then the next thing was the trailer of the Daily Duppy. So it's like I've just frozen the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a smart way,
frozen it, you know what I mean? Just so that it's leading up all the way. So it's like during the time of me saying I'm back and all of that type of stuff, like we're getting emails from 1 and 2 labels, but you see after the Daily Duppy went out, bro.
No, the Daily Duppy, I remember.
And I was just like, this is why this is mad, fam, because like I could have done this in Jamaica. Like I'm just in a room. This doesn't even show anything to do with England. I could have done this in a room, but just because you lot know I'm back in the UK, all of a sudden everyone's shouting me. But really, they could have shouted me and probably got me to England quicker to do the same shit they're phoning me for.
Do you know what it was? It was the weight. It was the weight. It was everything encompassed. The 5-year wait, everything was just when it dropped. I remember it was. I don't have to say it was a moment in time, kind of the comeback and everything.
Well, with Return of the Immigrant, obviously your first like major musical statement since you'd been back, and obviously with the Daily Duppy and the kind of pageantry around that, was that all kind of part of the plan as well to kind of like lay the foundation for what would be Return of the Immigrant and the kind of symbolism behind that?
Yeah, for sure. So that Return of the Immigrant was done, basically. After the return, the percentage of that was done as well. Well, really, it was done. I had Return of the Immigrant 1 and Return of the Immigrant 2 done before I said I was back, basically. And then all we've done is just made sure that Return of the Immigrant was solid and the story was told in a certain type of way. And we put that out. And then, now, after the return, no, not after the return, While You Wait, has got some of the Return of the Immigrant 2 songs on it.
Right.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
We've just chucked some of those on there because the narrative's changed now, innit? Like, you need to know what's happened after the immigrant return. Do you get me? So this is now like after the return. Just so that you can also grow with me as an artist as well. You get me? It's like, what's happened since you've returned? Like, this project can't be about me talking about the same shit, you get me? Like, it needs to be like, yo, what's happening now? What's life like for you now?
Yeah, the last kind of 3-4 years.
And if I am talking about anything from then, it's stories you haven't heard. Stuff like I said, like just what was going on with my personal, like how has the long distance, what toll has that had on relationships? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, are you still close with people that you was close with back then, now? And what's that dynamic like? Like after the return, you get me?
Yeah, I think you did that great.
Yeah.
Especially on While We Wait. Like, Quiet as Kept. It's just, well, I mean, I'm not sure as far as like the general scene what they think about it, but I feel like it should be spoken about more as far as like UK projects this year, because I feel like it was really, really good. And you said you've got a new project that you plan to drop this year as well.
After the return will drop this year, last quarter. So we'll start working songs from there after Ramadan. Maybe May, June. Start with the summer bangers, take the summer again. You know we did. And then just run it through that all the way up until like the music will change with the weather, long story short. You get me? As it's getting colder, you'll start hearing more of the rap. Yeah, you'll get the rap stuff, and we'll lead into the project from there. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Everyone I've played it to, they're excited for the world to hear it. You get me? So, and I'm still working on it. Like I'm gonna tweak it until the day
it's
I have
released.
to submit.
I was just about to ask if it's finished.
Yeah, like I say it's finished, but it's not. I'll be honest. I don't want to sell no hope. You get me? Like it's not done. But it's for a good cause. You get me? Like the stuff that for example, like the skits. Some of the skits, like the skits that I put on them, on these ones, they're real skits. They're not like stuff that you go into the studio and create. They're real conversations I've had. Like if I'm having a certain conversation about something and I feel like in my mind, okay, this could be a skit, I'll just start recording the convo.
Okay.
You get me? And then more time, I forget it's recording, and that's where I find the skits later on. You get me? Like I'll go through there. There's a song I have on there called Miss Taylor. The concept of that song is a letter I wrote to my ex's mum, right? So there was a convo I was having basically just about my relationship with her mum. You get me? Like not being together, but what's that conversation like? It's like people break up all the time. You get me? But what happens with your relationship with the person's family after you break up? What does that sound like? You get me? Like I've got that in a song. So that tune's a bang. That tune's mad. Hey, yeah, Miss Taylor. I'm telling you from now.
I'm looking forward to it.
Mad song. So yeah, man. After the return, it's me pushing again, innit? Like I always want to push the boundaries, and I always want people from outside. I don't even want to say it like I'm just representing the UK, but it's almost like if someone's releasing music from the UK, don't just expect it to sound some sort of way. The UK produces amazing artists who can make music in many different ways. You get it? So.
But that's what I think is a dope thing about you. You don't just represent the UK.
You
represent Jamaica. You represent the perspective of someone who is like
an immigrant.
An immigrant.
Yeah. Being able, but that's what it is for me, and I feel like that's how I will grow as an artist. Like you'll hear even on After the Return, you'll hear the influence now that I've gone and seen Africa. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll hear like some of the songs. There's a song on there. I'm saying these titles. I hope they stay. Some of them have to stay. Richard Pryor. There's a song on there. Richard Pryor.
That's a dope name,
right? Yeah, Richard Pryor's mad.
That's actually a crazy name.
Yeah,
because
he went to Africa as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor's nuts. Richard Pryor is like the first song I did when I got to Ghana. And yeah, vibes. Big up Fuse, ODG. We did it in the ODG mansion, like with his producers, Lex.
Big up.
Mad tune. But again, that tune, I did that. I went Ghana. Ghana is the first place I went on holiday, like as a legal man in the country. You see it? Like this is when I'm like, I can just book this and just go.
It hit different.
You get me? So went Ghana, and then we made that tune, and that's now on this project. But that I got back 2019. I went Ghana 2019 December, so I've had that since. Do you know what I mean? I've had Richard Pryor since that, so now enhance it and sounding mad.
You got any more songs of Kojey Radical?
Do you know what? Funny enough, Kojey might end up on that same song there, you know? Okay. So now we're at that stage where it's like picking the features for who would sound good on what, you get me? There's a couple that Kojey sound good on, so figuring out which one to get him on, but yeah.
You two have really good chemistry. How did you not link up anyway?
Do you know what? Kojey, funny enough, Kojey did. I already was watching this stuff from when I was in Jamaica, not knowing he was watching my stuff. Do you know what I mean? As it happens more time, you get me. When the artists are real enough to state that to each other. But yeah, when I got back, when I did the Trench Baby Challenge, basically, he did one. A lot of people didn't even realize, but Kojey did that. When the Trench Baby Challenge was going everywhere, he did one basically, and I think that's the first time we then connected through that. And I think it probably was a whole year later we did Born. They reached out, he's working on his album, went to the studio, and him and KZ, the producer, they already had something else, but I've then gone and played them like some of the stuff from Return of the Immigrant. And they were like, wait, we got something else. Hold on. And then that's how we did Born basically.
Is there
the video for that was hard as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in
the
that.
video was tough, innit? The video was tough, innit?
Oh, big up Charlie.
Yeah, we saw you guys perform it live at his Mercury Award
Oh, yeah,
party.
we did.
His Mercury Prize party.
Yeah. How was you not there?
Yeah, it was big.
We were there. He personally invited us.
Man.
Is there an artist you haven't collabed yet with that you really like you want to?
Yeah, man, loads, man. Like, I want to work with Potter, I want to work with Dave, I want to work with Huss, so I want to work with Ray, I want to work with Bella, I want to work with Odile. I could keep going on. And that's just the UK side. Like, there's enough artists that I want to work with, but we'll work with them.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
We'll work with them. Even Jules, I want to. Me and Jules might do something. On,
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I feel like without confining you to this like lane, but I see a future hook king in you.
Yeah. Do you know what? I appreciate that, bro. Because you know what? They've been folded. I ain't gonna they've been folded, guys. You get me? When they want a certain type of, you know what I'm saying?
No, but you're right, though.
Yeah. Nah, it's getting there. But even that, it's like, because I do them for myself, what's happened now is like, man are hearing the songs like, right, that's cold. So when they have their songs, it's like, right, he'd sound cold on this. You know what I'm saying? So there's features coming, like, so we're on projects that's coming out. Obviously, I can't tell the people them's business. But there's stuff, there's features, like, even though we're working on After the Return, and there's singles that's coming from that throughout the year, like, as we build up towards the last quarter of the year, we'll be popping up on some, and all different levels as well. Like, and we're shelling every single one of them. Every single one of them. You get me? So, yeah, it's exciting, man.
I'm looking forward to it, bro.
Is there anything you can share about the first single from After the Return?
Yeah, it's called Fashionista. Yeah, this one here, sunshine music. You get it?
So summertime.
It's summertime. This is that feel good music. You get me? It's like, but at the same time, it's like for example, you know the song Wagwan with me and Weston.
Yeah.
It's feel good like that, but it's a bit darker. You get me? It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like you can't play that and don't feel confident.
Yeah.
You get it? Like that song will make you feel confident. That song will make you, whatever you're wearing. You get me? It'll make you identify. Yes, you identify things about yourself. You're going, wait, this hat kind of suit my complexion. This is what I'm trying to say. You get me? Like it will give you confidence. It will make you feel like, you know what? Whatever I have, I could turn that into something. You get me? Yeah, sick tune.
When's that out?
Fashionista will be out after Ramadan.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're just loading that up now and just, marketing, just getting all of the campaign ideas going and whatnot. But that one there, you're due to see that one.
Yeah?
See that
You
one
independent?
everywhere. Yeah. Just distribution, same way. It's just
for real?
us, so marketing, ideas, all of that shit, it's just us, you get me? Like,
I respect that even
we
more.
all together. And yeah, obviously there's the team. We extend the team. And the team, that's what it is. The team's getting bigger now as well. Do you know what I mean? So there's different departments that are taking care of different things. Do you know what I mean? And one of the most like exciting things that I'm excited about is like launching the foundation as well this year. Inshallah, with the release of the project, like we're gonna launch the Proud Immigrant Foundation, basically, just to kind of like help fight immigration cases.
I salute to that.
Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that, and also like to build a facility back in Jamaica, starting there. for people that are in my situation that just get sent out there and didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't have nowhere to go, bro. Like when I landed,
nuts, yeah.
I didn't have nowhere to go to even like get to know. Do you know what I mean? So almost like a halfway house for you to get into the system if you get sent out there. Do you know what I mean? Like helping you to at least have a roof over your head, bare minimum. Do you know what I mean? And then just having the team members there helping you to get into the system, find your family members, etc. So, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
No, I respect that, honestly.
Yeah, man.
That's big.
All
That's
the
big.
best with that, man.
Thank you, bro.
It's going to change
That's
our
actually
lives,
big.
man. So
Yeah.
very much all the best with that, man. When you look back on everything that you've been through up to this point, is there anything that you would change?
Anything I'd change? I don't think so, you know. I actually don't think so. Because even like, I suppose the answer for that, the main thing would probably be like me getting sent to Jamaica. But like in hindsight, bro, that experience was the experience.
Yeah.
Like that
It molded.
that was the experience, bro. Like there's so much things that happen in between them 5 years that the world don't know about, that I live with every day, that my people know about. I'm excited to ease that information out with music. Do you get me? So I got a second. Do you get me?
Yeah, bro, 5 years. 5 years worth of stuff. There's no way you're gonna get through that in an album or two. Yeah.
Right, you get me? And I returned with 5 years worth of music. So enough of them ain't even gonna see the light of day because I'm recording so much now. Do you know what I mean? So, or they will. I don't think I'll ever waste songs. Everything I can always listen back to and draw, even if I get 2 bars out of it, I'll be able to find something, even if it's the melody I use and I just rewrite it. But yeah, now we don't throw away nothing.
Last question. What part of London do you think has the best spitters? We debate this all the time. We're from South.
By the way,
I
yeah.
said East.
By the way,
No,
he-
don't let him
you
carry
know
that.
what?
No disclaimer.
He's gonna try
Let
and
me show him
carry
off.
it.
Let me show him off. He knows what he's doing.
No,
Right, there you go. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
I won't say anything.
He knows what he's doing.
For a bit of context, we first asked ourselves this question years ago when we first started this thing.
We did a whole list of the
Right.
best spitters from each part. You're on the list, by the way.
Right.
And we said East. We're from South, but we
Right.
said East.
Right,
He's
right.
from North.
I'm from
innit?
Tottenham,
Right.
so I've always said, now this way it gets tricky.
See, here
You
we
see,
go, man.
my
Here
argument,
we
bro,
go.
Cat, do you know what it is? My argument is who's got the best rappers, North, East, South, West. That's not my debate. My debate is Tottenham is one postcode, N17. I'm saying one postcode. There's been no better rappers coming out outside Tottenham. Like Tottenham's got the best rappers. If we're just keeping it to one postcode, yeah. If we keep it to N, South, North, East, West, you can argue for everyone.
You can't do that, though.
is clearing that all day
Talk
long.
that shit,
Rappers.
Who comes from
The
SE15?
worst thing you could do is do it to postcodes, because SE15 is covering a bag of man.
See, I didn't even want to do it to postcodes. I
Yeah,
said,
nah,
what
it's
part of
covering a
London?
bag of man.
Nah, I'll tell you, I still think it.
Alright, so cool. For me, I'm a visuals man. innit?
Yeah.
So what are the names in
So let's
North
just say,
London?
if I'm keeping it one postcode, just N17, yeah?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Tottenham. You got Skepta,
Right.
you got Chip,
Right,
you got Jamie,
right.
you got, no one you
That's
Wretch?
tree.
you
That's
got Wretch,
Right,
you got Wretch, you got Frisco,
Scorcher.
you got Scorcher,
right,
Avellino.
right. No, keep going.
No, I'm trying to think. So that's 7 man so far. Let me
No,
try
but
to
that's a bag of grime man. A bag of grime man. JME is not a rapper.
Alright, Wretch is a rapper.
Right, Wretch is in that category.
But we just said spitters.
Yeah,
no
we
matter.
just-
It don't matter.
just-
Rap
you know
or
what?
grime,
God bless your soul.
spitters.
Just
I
spit
know,
it
nah,
through.
I
That's
didn't even mean
different
to.
though. That's different. That's what I'm saying. If we're saying rappers, because for example, if we're saying rappers, JME he wouldn't be in the category.
No, I agree with you there.
And if we're going through like the long list of rappers, like Skepta's earned itself to be called a rapper. But if we're going through the long list of rappers, like rap rappers,
Yeah.
Skepta would be in the artist category like me.
Yeah.
Just like Chip. Like artists that can rap as well. You get what I'm trying to say? But if we're talking about just rap, the person don't know how to put a song together.
just pen to paper. Just pen to paper.
Right, like a rapper, like Potter is a rapper. You get what I'm trying to say?
That's a
like
new
Potter,
perspective.
you get it?
I chat to me. Give me the names.
So I'd say, right. So obviously now you've got like the Northwest lot that are coming through. Fredo's, Nines. Who else is from over that side? Biz,
Yeah.
Coke.
Is Sims from Northwest?
Nah, Sims is
Sims is
from
Islington.
from
She's
North
North.
Islington.
North.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why.
So I'm saying take away postcodes and just do the.
If it just comes-
but
if
it's
it-
a no-brainer, fam. It's South London. It's
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
same,
saying.
yeah.
No, if it's a bigger question, I've only ride for Tottenham because I'm just N17 is what I can.
right.
I can't speak for Islington. I can't speak for. I can't speak for Edmund. Them man
No,
ain't
but
my
them man
man.
got that's what I'm saying. Joe Black, like
No, of
Squeaks,
course.
Benny Banks, like,
All
North
jokes
gets
aside.
mad.
No,
North,
all jokes
remember,
aside.
even Mo Stack.
Mo
like,
Stack.
Yeah.
You
North
said Joe
gets
Black as well.
mad,
Joe Black's from Tottenham.
You
Yeah,
get me?
from
Like,
North side.
North have definitely, but South, we're gonna go through South, cause like the
I like this.
rappers, like, come on, man.
Now
like,
South gets busy. Don't get me wrong. South gets busy.
South is definitely like, you know, South is the rap capital when most of the rappers from South hasn't made it. You
Who
get
was
me?
who-
Like,
Yeah, that's
like,
kinda
like,
good, yeah.
like the rappers, like all of the names in your thing have had their commercial success. Like, for example, like one of our main rappers from South, like Tef's just really stepping now.
Yeah.
And who's putting work like
No,
Tef, fam, you
but
get me?
no, but then that's different because if you mention Tef to people that know UK music, we're gonna
Yeah.
know who Tef. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course,
I'm not
but-
talking about on a global scale thing. I'm talking about just us man talking music.
Just as
I
ability.
mean, not many people.
Yeah.
Just his ability.
Yeah, say
Yeah,
for
like, I
that, just
don't-
off ability,
yeah, like,
then yeah.
not many
yeah,
man-
yeah,
Not many men on a
yeah.
global scale know North rappers like that, bro.
no,
But
brother, I can't speak for North.
I mean it in the sense of like, for example, right? Like we can put the North rappers in there and say Scorcher and say Wretch, and because these men ended up as
Yeah,
rappers
yeah.
that big. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in South, there's enough man that are in the streets known as sick rappers that never even got to an SBTV or
Yeah, I see what you're saying,
You
I see
get what I'm
what
trying to say? Like sick rappers, like. Cold rappers.
Like who?
But I'm sure it's probably the same in every ends. But realistically, I feel like South is like New York. Let's be real. South London is like New York, and where did
Yeah.
realistically, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, South is like,
Brother,
let's
I
go
can't-
through, you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. No, a lot of my
Yeah.
favorite rappers are from South.
But
Judge Souls from
North
South.
is
DBS from
Shelly,
South.
though. North is definitely
I'm just saying.
Shelly.
And I agree with you. Like, I don't even know if I agree with you. I don't know why. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I said I agree with you. I said, wait, hold on a minute. You know when you say, you know when you say, I can't lie, Cashh was convincing as fuck, man. This guy, you know PE, point evidence and explanation. He laid out. Man went wham. I said, hold on a minute. Now you make a good point.
You're bamboozled.
But I was flabbergasted. But like, no, I hear you in terms of if we're arguing north, east, south, west. I generally do understand. That's a different debate to me.
No, that's the only debate we're having. You're having a different debate.
I said
bro.
one postcode. I could probably.
Nah, but,
that,
so
bro.
if
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Said thing. If we're going
Yeah, yeah.
postcode, rappers, I'm still saying SE15. Like, but for me, again, we'd have to like go through names
yeah.
and then abilities.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? And again, remember, music is subjective, innit? So you're gonna say a name, and I'm gonna say, but he's better than him.
He'll probably disagree with you.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he's better than him, and you're gonna say,
Yeah,
nah, no. But me, you see me, I'm a man with patience. Let's break it down. Let's play the songs right
brother
now.
is not.
You see what I'm saying? I'm one of them kind of man there. Like, alright, cool. So find a pain song from him. Find a pain song from him. Play the two.
Really, I
Let's
see
go.
which one.
Let's roll up a spliff and let's debate. You see what I'm trying to say? I'm one of them kind of man there.
This might have to be an episode.
You see
in
what I'm
its
saying?
own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Nah,
and then we
he-
actually go through it.
That's the only way you can decipher it.
That's the only way, but I guarantee you, at the end of it, we're still not going to be agreed.
Nah, it's
Absolutely
you know
not.
it's the bias, isn't it? The bias, because you know it's the bias is always gonna speak.
Right,
Like, you're
right.
always just gonna.
You'll know though.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I like same thing. I don't mind doing these things
Yeah.
because I might then change my mind.
Yeah,
you get what I'm
nah,
trying to
yeah,
say?
yeah,
Like it's. I like debates like that because for me, it's not about who's right or wrong. There is no right or wrong.
It's
innit?
music,
Like,
innit?
it's the fact that we're even able to have this conversation about artists within our scene is mad.
Now, if you say West,
South
you're
is
wrong.
running UK rap now, though.
What do you say?
South is running UK
South,
rap now.
South has been running it for a while.
We've had it. We've had it.
God bless you,
We've
man.
had it.
Like, honestly, God bless you, man. Well, like, prosper,
We've had it.
inshallah.
We've had it. We've had it.
Just saying. When's West?
had it.
What you saying? West never gonna have it? No, I'm joking. I just don't
No,
know.
man, but
That was
even
unnecessarily
West, but
short.
even now, but think about it. Look, even your Sench, even though it's drill,
up. Yeah.
right? But Sench, Fredo,
Fredo, yeah.
Big up.
like
Big Zoo.
Digger and them man, them man are having a moment.
AJ.
Like,
Oh, yeah, West actually did come through. Yeah, yeah,
them man
no,
are
salute to West, salute.
definitely having a moment.
Yeah,
and then,
no,
and then,
salute
for
to West.
example, like I said, like artists rappers. Do you know who raps? Like Louis from Western, he raps as well.
Oh, he
Yeah,
You get me? Like, so
yeah.
they got people over there.
No,
for
salute
sure,
to them,
for
salute
sure,
to them.
for sure, for
That
sure.
was just
but-
Yeah,
unnecessary
he needs
shot.
more flowers, to be fair. Because
Louis?
he's in a group. he doesn't get as much. But
Defo.
Louis goes.
They deserve more. Them man, all.
All
I'm
of them,
fuck with
yeah,
Western.
yeah, nah,
Western
of
make
course,
music.
of course.
Like Western actually make music.
Of course,
Like
of
all
course.
jokes, like them man are
For
musicians. Like they make music. Hally gets busy. Like them man get busy.
Well, Cashh, thank you so much for coming down, man.
Appreciate it,
Had
bro.
Big up, man.
an amazing
I
time. How can people get at you, bro?
Listen, I'm on the Instagram. The name is Cashh across everything, basically. Double H. Yeah, after the return, it's on the way.
Coming soon.
You get me? I'm excited, man. Because you know what this feels like? This feels like, right, I'm actually working this project because it's not out for now, but we're already having the convos about it. And it's going to feel like a moment because every time I go and do another interview, see, like you're saying, like, right, you're tired about that. I'm going to have a different update because by then Fashionista will be out. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's gonna be if you want to, you know, like a Netflix series. If you want to tap into something like and follow it throughout a slow process, just pay attention to what's happening and yeah, like the journey to after the return is gonna be an interesting.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man.
I expect the video to be crazy with a name like Fashionista.
Don't put that pressure on me, bro.
I can't lie.
Mad. Do you know
Is that what you said?
Nah,
Is that what
do
you
know what's
said?
mad?
Because with the name,
It's
the
supposed-
visuals,
you know
bro,
what's
the
crazy,
visuals you're
bro?
giving me.
It's supposed to be one that don't have a video.
Oh, for real?
Right, but now we're saying like, how can it not?
Nah, bro, you can't tease it like all of that. You can't tease
single.
Man goes, it's
Like, how can
gritty,
it
it's
not?
Wagwan McGree,
You know
it's
what I'm saying?
summertime.
Yeah,
Man,
like, how
you know,
can
in
it
your
not?
head, you're picturing something.
I can see it, man.
Yeah.
I can see
You
it,
get
bro.
me? Like, yeah. So, yeah, we need to.
Well, video or audio, whichever, be on the lookout for Fashionista coming out soon.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Boys, any shout outs you want to make before we take the
Cleo
people out?
Soul, man. Big up Cleo Soul.
Yeah, big up Cleo. Ooh, I want to work with Cleo.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Sims
Sound
and
good.
them.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. After the return, is it?
Mo, any shout
I
outs?
ain't got any shouts, man. You know me, Ramadan Kareem.
Hear that. I ain't got any shout outs either. Just shout out to everybody for watching and listening. Shout out to Cashh for coming down.
Appreciate you.
And yeah,
Appreciate
that'll do it for
you.
another episode of Rhymes Like Dimes. Thank you very much once again. If you want to get at us, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Rhymes Dimes Pod. If you want to suggest topics, we're on rhymeslikeDimesPodcast@gmail.com. As always, salute to Drakes in the Cut for making us look good. And yeah, we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed.